this would have been. Let's see. Yeah, this would have been the Fogeys draft here. Laying out Fogeys on the left and Insomniacs on the right. And this would also be the 4th and 5th seed matchup. So hopefully you get a close game here today. Obviously these teams have played each other before. I could check and see what happened the first go around. But maybe I'll get a chance to in a second. We'll see what strategy these teams want to go into. We just had a balance patch come out yesterday that changed a few of the supports as far as balancing. They're going to go ahead and ban a new brack to start off with. A few changes here and there. Of course, a bigger patch coming in a week and a half or so with some reworks. But for now, this should be enough to kind of shake up the meta and maybe start forcing teams away from the double support. I personally don't know as far as these two teams what they like to run in terms of double support or like a particular way they like to lean. But see a new brack ban and we see a Zool ban on the side of the Fogeys. A very map-oriented ban as far as Zool goes. Zool, I think, saw some minor nerfs in this patch. May have been a balance patch previously. I can't quite remember, but regardless, Zool is a great pick on Tomb of the Spider Queen. You get the free clear, rotating mid-top or even a mid-bottom, and you let basically your 4-man just roam and gank the entire time and try and bully the other team out of lane. And we see a Diablo first pick on the side of the Insomniacs here. Again, that's another strong map pick. A lot of walls, tight corridors, crevices, a lot of places that Diablo can stun people against walls and get a lot of value out of there. And not to mention he's great for bullying people out of lane. Plus the Devil's Due at level 1, which makes your healing or the regen globes get massive value when you're rotating. It's very hard to actually, once you go through a few rotations and you actually start getting some souls, it's very difficult to poke down a Diablo enough to where I would actually need to force him out of lane between the regen globes and the healer. Granted that your support isn't going to show put a lot of his cooldowns on you. We'll see what they decide. So we're gonna get a bit of wave clear out here with the Rhaegar picking him up first as a support. Now it's interesting with the Uther changes to see, and the Ariel changes for that matter. It'll be interesting to see how teams are prioritizing supports, and Late Night Fogeys say the number one that we want is Rhaegar, and right back on the other side we're going to see a Kael'thas for the follow-up to the Diablo charge and flips, as well as an Uther. And I suppose they were thinking Uther fits really well with the comp that we want to run here. Let's make sure that he doesn't get banned out against us, and we're forced to go with something that is a little less favorable for us. I like the picks there. Kael'thas also gives great wave clear. Both sides, neither team has taken a solo laner yet. This is one thing to watch out for. As far as bans go, this is tough for the Fogeys because they can really go any direction yet. As far as the Insomniacs, they could go into a double support. Tassadar's still on the board. Tassadar's health was nerfed with this patch, by the way. Yet another hero that's been touched, and it's part of what makes it super interesting to see what directions teams are really going to go here. And we have the Sonya ban. That may be a precursor to something they want to run in the solo lane. Maybe a Zag. I mean, a lot of times it's a skill matchup between a Sonya and Zagara, but in the end, all things equal, I think the Sonya wins. They're going to go ahead and ban HotS on the side of the Insomniacs. So this is where we really see the draft start to take shape for the Fogeys. I wouldn't be surprised if there was something particularly in mind that they wanted for the off lane, but I'm having trouble placing exactly what it is. I imagine we would see a tank go in this rotation as well. Tank, they could even take 2 frontliners here and leave the last pick open for whatever. I mean, double support is certainly on the board for both of these teams so far, and Uther and Rhaegar to this point are 2 supports that we've seen in double support compositions very frequently. Let's see what they want to go with. They could go heavy on the wave clear as well, considering there's not too much. We see Dahaka and a Tyrael. Okay, so they decided to go with the double front line here. And to be fair, I mean, Insomniacs don't really have anything to deal with a beefy front line at the moment. So, I mean, you would have to anticipate, maybe, I would actually like to see if they went like a Vala Tassadar would be good here. Just Vala in general, I think Tychus would be decent in this scenario. The one thing for certain, though, I'd love to see a little bit of wave clear. And, of course, they'll need to grab themselves a solo laner here as well. I mean, at least the way things have shaped so far, it's with the ancestral healing and the sanctification, it's going to be really hard to burst somebody down. So these fights could end up going a little bit on the longer side. I'd like to see them get a little more support here. It's going to be a Leoric, there's your solo lane, and they do take the Vala. So Leoric with a lot of self-sustain, Diablo with a lot of self-sustain, and later on in the game, Kael'thas, well, depending on what talent he takes, he could go Convection at 1, or he could go Mana Addict, which would give him more survivability later on in the game as well. Yeah, I suppose it's going to come down to how well they can combo off the Diablo KT, if they can bait out cooldowns on LNF, bait out an Ancestral or a Sanct early, kind of back off and then re-engage into the fight. Probably going to be the best course of action. I mean, we have the solo laner on the side of LNF, so I guess another could go another range here. Again, I mean, the Tychus wouldn't be bad. I think I like Tychus more than most people, though. There's a Lunara, okay. Really a great pick against Uther. Uther very cooldown dependent still. And much more oriented on just the single target healing. However, he did get more of a, in this latest patch, his W heals for more than it did before. It gives less armor, but it straight up heals for more. So he's a little better than before at dealing with the Lunara, but it's still not great. Still not great. One thing I would have liked to see is maybe another slow. I guess you have the Rhaegar totem, but that, like, really, that just dies in the crosshair, in the crossfire of all the abilities that are getting flung around. Just see another throw to help out, to synergize more with the Lunara when she hits level 13. But all in all, Lunara is still a great pick against Uther, so see how things play out here. Imagine Leoric and Doc will be in the bottom lane, and we'll see a rotation mid-top. They very well could just, you know, try and catch one another off guard and do a rotation mid-bot and stick a solo laner up top. That's something that's certainly been known to happen. Let's see, stream good? I think so, okay. So we've got the late night Fogeys on the left side here. We have Big Beard playing Greymane, Hulk on Tyrael. Velvet's going to be the Lunara. Zad is on Dahaka, and Shadow Leaves is on Rhaegar. And over on the right side, we have Zar Salesman on the Diablo. Krasilvan on Vala. Turambar on Leoric. Blings on Uther. And Crab People playing the KT. See if either team elects to go too aggressive at the beginning here. Looks like both teams playing it fairly safe. We'll see if the team's spray games are on point. Bling's getting us started there. Alright. A little disappointed in LAF, but we'll see if they can recover. Getting early clear right here on the side of LNF. Getting a little bit better of the way. They do get a drag onto Grazelvan. And everybody's going to back out and part their separate ways. Lunara did get chunked quite a bit, though. Excuse me. We do still see the W quest on level 1 for Uther, and you guys let me know if the game sounds a little loud. It seems a little louder than usual. You see Diablo getting it quite low to start off with here. And we're starting to see the Insomniacs get the upper hand as far as wave clear goes. All in all, pretty tame. Diablo getting chunked down quite a bit. Big Beard going in on the Greymane. Polk with the Tyrael as well, and we see the chain bomb spread. Don't let it spread again. Getting chunked down just a little bit, but everybody's gonna recoup and be out just fine. See Tyrael taking a bit of damage again here, and he actually goes down with the flip from Czar Salesman. It's well done. It's well done. I can dig it. We're gonna keep the rotation going down the bottom lane. Leoric actually getting the better end of this trade so far. Pushing in the wave just a little bit down there. Not too bad so far. And we do see the rotation here. Insomniacs are having the better rotation as we see them jumping on Lunaro. Velvet in a little bit of trouble. The stun from Blings and Velvet's going to go down as well. It's 2 kills for Insomniacs, none for LNF so far. As KT's a little low on mana, crap equals to go back and top himself off. So far, the early game going a little bit better, admittedly on the side of Insomniacs, getting a couple picks. They're clearing the waves more quickly. The Vala pick certainly helping. You know, you throw down one Kael'thas Q and have the Vala W, and that's pretty much takes care of the wave for you. See, getting Dovapon here. Do we see the flip? He's got his teleport out. He's going to be just fine. And Zad maybe getting a little bit of payback. Starting to force back the wave a little bit, but no ammo down on the side of the other side. Yes. It's the constant bullying. They're just one step ahead, getting the lanes cleared, and that's making it a lot easier for them to be able to turn in. Having these lanes pushed out in their favor, it makes it really hard for LNF to try and sneak a turn in or anything like that. If they're going to do that, if they keep losing this wave clear batter, they're going to have to try and sneak to the bottom or something of that nature. Now Velvet gets flipped again, but thanks to the movement speed, Velvet is going to make it out. As we see her kind of saunter on out of there. Let's see. Let me turn my voice up just a little bit more. Or let me know if that's better. It might just be me. The game sound seems louder than usual. We see attempting a turn in again, and it's been very opportunistic Diablo play so far. As we see them do manage to get a turn in here. Does our salesman go back in? He says, no thank you. See the battle raging on at the bottom, and Zad is starting. I made this from minions. Yeah, so as soon as they hit level 4, it looked like Dahaka started to turn around this lane. However, we do have a 3-4. This is the whole team. Zad's going down. That's a lot of gems. It's 23. It's 23 on the side of LNF going down. Now keep in mind, we're getting free clear in the mid, and they're committing a 5-man bottom this early in the game. They're missing soak in the mid. They're missing soak in top. So that could limit the lead a little bit, but they're saying we want to fully commit, and we want to go ahead and just take down this bottom fort. We'll commit all our resources, we don't care. And count on that to get them the experience lead rather than soaking all the lanes, maybe getting 2 or 3 walls. They're saying this is more valuable to us, and can't really argue too much as they're up a full level. Not to mention they have a nice wave sitting right there for them there. Nothing top, but they're gonna seize this, and that should at least get a tower out of this. See LNF clearing up bottom yet a little bit. Velvet taking a bit of damage, a little bit from the Drano, but a lot from the KT. So then rotate back up here, and you know, this is one of the great things about Kael'thas on this map as well. Just rotate 1 Q, that clears the wave. Once you get to a certain point in the game, even really early on, it's great too, as long as you just have some ability to supplement it like we saw they did earlier with Avala. They have 23 gems turned in on the side of LNF. And 15 towards the second turn in for the Insomniacs. You see the rotation game pick back up here. And is Vala caught a little bit? Should have the peel from Diablo, and she does. But again, Velvet taking a lot of damage. Should be able to get out of there, though. There's a cleanse going down as well, so that'll be down on Chatterleys. We do see a drag over on Daka, or on Diablo, but he'll be just fine getting out of there. Hey, LNF's trying to force a fight right now before level 10s are hit, but this is bad news bears for Zad. He's going to go ahead and fall down upon the flip from Czar Salesman. Lunara getting a ton of damage out, though. Everybody else, anyways, manages to get out of there alive. And now we're just going to look to see Insomniacs force. Do they finish Diablo here? They used the... Wow, okay. Here we have the APOC into Entomb. Oh my god. That's a 3-for-0. That was so well done. That was so well done. I think that, yeah. Get the Entomb into APOC. The Divine Storm catching out the Tyrael with a nice stun lock after Diablo hit him against the wall. Managed to pick up a couple more with the Entomb. That was very, very well done. I think that was more bleeding than had to happen for LNF if they had just sacrificed the Tyrael. I think the rest of them could have gotten out of there, but this is the Weber wave that you have to make hurt. I would like to see them go top, push in the boss lane. You'll have a wave pushed up right about to here or so. In the mid lane anyways, it pushed by itself. We do see Leoric go down early. That should be okay. We have a big chain bomb exploding, bringing the members down a quarter health. They can still siege this in. They really need to heal up, grab people though. Zad looking for the flank, trying to get a drag on KT. Can't do it. The isolation is down. He has a drag on Diablo, and that's going to stick, but do they have enough damage to take him out? He makes it across, and we're going to see a counter kill over onto Grey. Main Tyrael should go down as well, and Lunara will go down too. Leoric's able to Wraithwalk out of there, and we see everybody live for the Insomniacs. This top 4 should go down as well, and in the mid, we're seeing that push all the way up to the keep wall. They may manage to get that tower down there. Keep in mind, yeah, it's a good pressure so far. They've got that top lane. They have another minion wave here, to where they could siege down this wall a little bit, but they're a bit low. It's fairly difficult for Uther to heal up a team like this, sieging in, but at the same time, the minion wave was big enough they were able to get a bit of damage off. It's too bad they couldn't finish this tower, but still well done. Not to mention, we still have a Webweaver getting a little pressure on bottom. Now it's a sticky spot here. LNF, all the waves pushed in on their side. Still 27 gems away from a turn-in. You see the entire team of the Insomniacs back up at full healthy. And they're up a talent here. So again, this is the tough part with the Entomb. Well, as we see Zad in trouble, he's going to get flipped and he's going to go down as well. That's a lot of gems again. And that hurts for the turn-in. That really hurts for the turn-in. That was their ticket. But again, a great stun by Diablo. They get the flip, follow-up CC. They don't even let him burrow and even buy time. But this is the really snowbally part of Tomb of the Spider Queen. You get an early lead, you get the waves pushed. It's really, really hard, especially after a second turn-in. If you can manage to get 2 turn-ins right off the bat, it's very difficult to come back in a game like this, as we're seeing. Get all these waves pushed up, makes it really hard for LNF to turn in at all. And keep in mind, they can't go anywhere near the Insomniacs, just with their talent disadvantage, making it really tough. See, Insomniac's looking for another fight here. They are a bit split, though. Curse Bullet does go down and miss. Big Bear gets stunned against the wall, and there's another stun lock, and Big Bear's going to go down. We see Tyrael get stunned as well, and he is not going to be able to get the sanctification off. Well done. From the Insomniacs, I've been really impressed just with the stun locking that they've been doing. They haven't been overlapping CC much. They clearly have a set pattern and order of who's laying their CC down in what order. And it's working out really well for him. And Czar Salesman's had just a number of great stuns up against the wall, and that's really led off all of these picks that we've seen. So everyone on the side of LNF is back up. We see Haka in the bottom, and we have a couple not down to this bottom wall yet, as we have a boss pushing. There's the Entomb, but it does whiff. And finally, we have level 13 for LNF, but this is a full boss here. Full health team on the side of Insomniacs. And the value from KT this game with his Flame Strikes has been just absolutely ridiculous. He's got the Convection fully stacked at this point as well. Just getting a lot of value. We are starting to get a little bit low on the side of Insomniacs, but LNF needs the Haka here. The Haka's still not here, and there's Tyrael down. This could be game. Big Beard goes down as well. Here comes the Ancestral from Shadow Leaves. It's good Ancestral. But Velvet does get caught by the Diablo charge, and that should be game. Leoric might go down, but this boss still has enough health to get some more damage into the core, and they're all 5 healthy yet. That's gonna be GG for game number 1. Going over to the Insomniacs. I gotta say, the one thing that really stood out in that game, though, was our Salesman's Diablo. That setup, the CC chain that followed was all great. And I don't want to discount that, but every single pick that they got was started by that. And what really blew the game wide open is when they had their level 10s and managed to get an Entomb as well. They pop the APOC inside the Entomb. They catch Lunara and one other person. I don't remember who it was. It was Greymane and Rhaegar, but just absolutely blew them up and deleted. That was really well done. Really well coordinated. Over on the side there. We'll see where we go for game number 2. Let's see. I suppose I can update the score, huh? Chad, I hope you guys are having a great night. It's a great night for some HotS. Yeah, no, Kendo, you're absolutely right. I mean, if they didn't hit the chain CC exactly like they did, and they ended up living through that, that was going to be bad news for Insomniacs. They weren't designed to win those long fights. They had to delete somebody, and that's exactly what they did, and they did it perfectly. They did it perfectly. Let's see. We got a lobby, looks like. Looks like we go to Dragonshire for game number 2. Let's see. This is 1-0, yep. So while this is a best of 3 series, again, this is the Division B quarterfinals. This is the first round of the playoffs here. Winner of this game actually goes on to play my team. It should be exciting. We'll see if I mean, it was really close for the Fogeys. If they could have just survived a little bit longer in a few of those, that would have turned the tide. Absolutely would have turned the tide. Alright, just about ready. Give me 1 second. Alright, wasting no time. I love it. I love it. Everybody's ready. So we're going to go over to Dragonshire. A little more macro-oriented of a map. A lot of small skirmishes. Not to say there aren't small skirmishes on Tomb, but the last game that, of course, we just saw was a lot of team fighting. This will be a little bit more smaller skirmish-oriented. The thing to look out for is what kind of comp do the Insomniacs want to run here. Do they want to do something similar with another stunlock type of setup? Do they want to just pull out the Diablo again? I mean, it was a first pick last game. That could be a priority pick for them. It'll be, we also see if LNF decides, hey, maybe we even want to ban that out after seeing it the first game. But if they do show signs of going into a CC heavy comp again, I'd love to see LNF just go with the double support. It's still very much a viable comp, running double support, and it's especially great against the style of comp that Insomniacs ran in Game 1. So, I mean, that's something they can keep open to be flexible with later on in the draft. But just to keep an eye on it and an open mind. Love to see them do that. They're going to go ahead and ban Dahaka. They don't want a first pick Dahaka coming out of the side of Insomniacs. It's just a great solo laner on Dragonshire. Not to mention you can come down for the ganks very quickly, and we do see the Diablo coming out. Pick number 1. I like it. I like it. I do like it. So now we see, as it sure looks like, we're going to see another sort of stunlock cop coming out from the Insomniacs. It would certainly be nice to see a little more beef or just sustain on the side of LNF. I mean, that's your best way to go there. It's especially going to be better if, they decide to go, Insomniacs decide to go into the Uther again. It'll certainly suit them well here, and they're gonna say you don't get the Kael'thas part of that again. And again, I mean, part of what went so well last game was, not only the Diablo stuns, and it was really the follow up that came off of those. Convection was finished very early into the game, and the interesting thing was he got a lot of hits on Lunara in the back line. So that neutered LNL from the start. So they're saying, no, we're gonna go ahead and take Kael'thas this time. So, granted, it's only 2 picks so far, but a pretty identical draft to start things out. Do they keep it with more of the same, or do we see a little bit of variance here? I wouldn't be surprised to see them go with the Uther again. Yep, and there it is. And now it's going to come down to what DPS they want right off the bat. Or they're going to go Zool. I like this. This really gives them a lot of flexibility. I imagine Zool in the mid to bottom, they pick a solo laner to go top, and then they look with the Diablo Uther and whatever range damage they decide to go with. You just look to get picks in the rotation here and make it really, really difficult for LNF to push out any of these lanes, and just control map pressure again. I mean, it's a strategy that worked the first time. It's a different map, but it still works here. They're gonna ban the Chromie. So scared of the Zool Chromie combo. Not something we see a ton. I mean, maybe they've done more of a scouting report. Maybe this is something Insomniacs like to do. And just didn't want to go against it. I'm gonna go ahead and ban the Lunara. If there was one thing that was a problem for Insomniacs last game, it was the Lunara, because as we saw a couple fights that dragged on a little bit longer, we did see that the health was significantly lower throughout the fight. So now again, are we going to see something similar type of stuff? Again, I would love to see a double support here. But the problem is, if you go a double support against something like this, which has an absolute ton of wave clear right off the bat, can make it really hard to keep up in lanes. Also have the solo lane option wide open yet. So we'll see what they want to do there. Solo lane are not taken on either side. We have the Leoric and Thrall. Okay. Well, this has got to be another warrior coming out, right? So instead of going the more supporty route, it looks like what they're going to do is say, hey, we're going to try and make ourselves a bit more ungankable by just having more sheer HP. The problem is later on in the game when you get the Diablo quest for the percentage damage when you stun, that doesn't necessarily play as much into your favor into the late game. I guess the thought is to get an early game lead, but that's kind of hard to do against Azul. Yeah. I suppose relying on the KT wave clear here to keep him ahead. Let's see what our range damage we want here. Vala would be good. I mean, they could still go like a double. They could still go a Tassadar with a Vala. Jaina Alarak, okay. For the solo lane, for sure. So that's their gank potential here. Alarak in the top lane, I would imagine. Even though he's great in a roaming gank squad, he's also a fantastic solo laner, and he probably, I mean, he should beat Thrall, right? I don't know about Leoric, but that's a great just ganking squad right there. Diablo, Uther, and Jaina. You get the charge and flip, or you get the or you just get the flip into the Uther stun, and then Jaina can completely blow her spells. That should hit, if done correctly, that should hit all 3 Blizzard waves with all the damage that Jaina has. And I'm not. Okay, and there's the Zagara. Man, I don't know. I don't know how crazy I am about that. This is a pretty squishy team. Now, granted, Thrall isn't... He's actually pretty beefy, especially with his Ancestral Wrath. That does help out a good amount. But I just don't know if the survivability's there. And they have no frontline with Leoric as their solo warrior. That's the part that concerns me the most out of all this, I think. Got Insomnia in the chat. Had to come out and rep his boys. Get behind it. All right, we'll see game number 2. Hopefully, we'll see if LNF can turn this around just a little bit. And again, I mean, this is the same type of thing. If they can survive the initial burst that's going to be coming out of the Insomniacs, they can win the fights. As we see Big Beard over here on Leoric Hulk, will be on Thrall this game. Shadow Leaves on KT Velvet, playing Rhaegar and Zad all in the Zagara. We have Turambar on Alarak. Blings is on Uther yet again. Crap People will be on the Jaina. Krazelvan. On Zul and Czar Salesman. On the Diablo. On the Diablo. Out here trying to make adjusting look silly. We'll see if he can. We'll see if he can have another great game here. As I imagine, LNF just wants nothing to do with this minion wave. And we do see the flip and stun. We see the Jaina combo. However, that is Leoric. If there's one person that's going to get out of a combo like that, it will be Leoric. He Wraith walks out of there, and we'll be just fine. So Zagara getting a bit of push in the top. However, we see Elrek coming up here. He's going to skirt out top and be just fine. And we'll see if they want to rotate with Zul, or if they want a 3-man push a lane, or if they want just Zul to rotate and they can just roam and gank. But for here, getting good push in the mid wave, and they're going to try to deny the rotation. You just flip them over, though. A little bit of a misplay. They could have gotten a little bit more there, just with the body blocking alone. See a charge onto Velvet. Doesn't get the flips, so no follow-up CC. We see Zagara doing very well in this top lane so far. See a silence up there. This game, KT on the other side, we do see Mana Addict rather than Convection. Looks like pretty standard stuff across the board otherwise. We do see Rhaegar absolutely trapped in the corner. We do have huge living bomb value coming out here. They do get the Rhaegar. Do they all manage to live now? Got the Drain Hope on Zul, but just on the edge of the range, and he manages to get out of there just fine. A little bit of a brawl down here for the bottom shrine here. Comes back just in time to kindly pass the living bomb over to Zul. We do see a gank attempt up top. It does get a bit of damage out on Zagara, and that means they will control the top, but they're going to give up the bottom promptly thereafter. We see Diablo rotate on back down. We do see a 2-man up here. Do they manage to get the lunge? Oh, they do. With the old lightning shield on the totem there. See a brawl down bottom. Does Leo get out of this? He should. He does. Okay. Seeing a Q build out of Jaina so far. A lot of stacking talents in this game. So the auto attack stacking for Zagara up in the top lane. So we see a little bit of trouble, and Czar Salesman is there yet again. Little miscommunication there though. Flips over Velvet out of the blizzard, but let's LNF get control of both of the shrines here, but they likely won't be able to do anything with it. Down a man here. I will say, even with a couple kills and the insane wave clear they have, we're seeing an XP lead on the side of the Fogeys. So good for them. See this Alarak Zagara matchup rage on here. See just a dance. The bottom shrine. See a 4-man rotation back up mid. Do they try? Okay, they're just gonna clear the way. See a possible Jaina gank up here. At least they're gonna try and get back a little bit control. Alarak backs, okay. Almost dying. Velvet out a bit. He catches wind of the Aura could get a stun. Does not. They're just gonna clear the wave. I think this is a smart way for LNF to go about it. I mean, Thrall doesn't have a ton of wave clear. I mean, it's good to leave him there, but just to have these 3 bottom to be able to maintain control. Wow, okay, we see Jaina switching up to the top lane. They're going to pick off KT. Because again, see this gank combo get put to work. May lose a couple minions over here in the mid soak, but not a huge thing in the grand scheme of things. And they're going to rotate Alarak back to the top, it looks like. He will get. Oh, he doesn't get it. Zagara manages to capture top back. And Jaina's going to go back up there. Jaina Jaina goes down. Jaina goes down to the roachlings. That's not something you see every day. You go down to the roachling damage. We're seeing a bit of pressure now be putting on in the bottom lane by Insomniacs. Managing to get the gate down, the top little side wall, and we're out of mana. We're out of ammo here. We do see Zagara go down in the top lane with a 2-man. Alarak and Uther up there. Seeing a bit of pressure in the mid too. Again, I mean, this is... Like I said, Thrall doesn't have the most clear, so... you know, with the Zool little skeletons... That can be tough to deal with after a while and really wear down the board. So we do see outnumbered here, and they should get Jaina. And they do. It's 4 kills to 3 so far. We're very even on XP. LNF is a little bit ahead, but we do see both of the shrines. Over to the Insomniacs right now. A little bit split though. We were seeing more of that 4-man roam ganking type of style from Insomniacs early on, but as this game's progressed, it's gotten a little bit more everybody kind of all over the place. Hasn't suited them well. Right now. See a possible gank here if they can get a stun. There was a Maw. We have a Maw instead of Nidus. Does Uther get the kill? He uses Divine Storm to go ahead and get it. I don't see Nidus every day. Or I mean Maw. Interesting. I mean, I like Maw as an ultimate. It's just the problem is the way that Zagara is geared these days. She's just, we're going to see a huge fight breaking out bottom. We see the Entomb not working out to Delna's favor, and it helps them land the APOC a little bit here. Does our salesman go deep for this KT? He doesn't have the range. But we do have a 3v2 here over against the Yorick. Very low on the side of Insomniacs. So our salesman's going to go down here. And he does. See big flank that, but they are going to get the Leor kill in return. Zool. He wasn't scared, not even a little bit. So again, we have the brawl here. Here's the Ring of Frost. Jaina does get the better end of this one. That was a nice bait. We see the Earthquake go down in the mid. We just have fights all over the place in this game. We see another hero go down. But Zool. Honest to God, I don't know where that happened. We already kicked a bit up here. As I was saying about with Maw, though, I mean, you still get the great solo laner as far as you see the Oracle Patrol. Does manage to get the Wraith Walk before our salesman can stun him. But as far as like the Maw goes, I actually like the Maw, but there are just other heroes that can do what Zagara does better in terms of teamfight presence. And you're going for teamfight presence when you pick Maw, so not too crazy about it. We'll see how it works out for them. If they can get a teamfight here and get them all. They're engaging hard. They have numbers. There we see the Entomb. That's a big Entomb. That's a big Maw. That's the Maw they need right there. We'll see if they get the follow-up on it. Nobody's in there. There's a huge silence from Alarak. We get the counter-strike. That should be the end of Rhaegar too, but it does manage to take out Jaina. KT's going to go down the other side. Uther needs to just die right here. He should be able to survive and also get value. What a fight. We see the B steps coming out from Blinks. That was well done. That was well done. That was such a huge Entomb into the Maw for late night Fogeys. But right out of the Maw, we have a 4-man silence from Alarak. We just had humongous value there. See, Blink's getting a little bit low over here. But at the same time, Zad playing with fire. Getting that close to a 3-man, including an Alarak in there. So it looks like Insomniacs are essentially going to paint the map red here. After stealing away the siege camp. They're going to go ahead and get their siege camp, and they're going to get their cruisers over on the top right. Is this bottom camp going to be a point of contention? I guess is the next question. He's a guard down here today. There. Decide to back on out. So we do see the bruiser camp taken over on the top. Oh, Zool gets the Zagroot there. That might have been a kill. Now, do we see a 5v5 over this camp? Is the question. LNF's a little bit afraid to step out, but I mean, if you're going to take a fight, now's your time. With Insomniacs almost level 16, now they have a siege camp and mercs down here. I'd like to see them push in on this, but maybe they just go mid and take out that fort. I think that fort was easily going to go down anyways. I'd like to see them pressure him with the siege camp in the mercenaries or in the bruisers, but either way, they still win, got value out of the mid, and that gets them closer to 16. If you stick around here, that could give LNF, you know, the fight that they want, which isn't what they want. We just see it engage. I'm sorry, Salesman. Here's a big APOC yet again with the Ring of Frost. There's a D-Shield, or the D-Storm going down. That's going to be 2 picks. With Jaina getting another pick on the other side with the Thrall. That's 2 for nothing. Excuse me. They're going to wrestle controls of these shrines here as we see Zad get the, or attempt to get the top one back, but they had Alarak rared and ready to go over in the mid to get that shrine. They're gonna go for the mid keep here. I wouldn't be surprised if they get the wall back out and go bottom, start pressuring that lane. It's really not a preferable lane to have mid open a map like this. It makes it a tough win condition as we see Zar Salesman go in, get the charge, get the flip. We see the poison coming out from Zool. We do see another big mob, but there's no follow-up. There's no follow-up here. See them continuing to siege down. Smith keep. Are we seeing a core call here? Ancestral goes down on Thrall, but he should be able to make it out alive. They're working a little low, and they're greedy. They want the score. There's a Ring of Frost that comes out. Leoric getting a ton of value out of a straight hope, but he should go down with another auto attack. Zar Salesman can't get there. I don't think they can end. They cannot end on this. They're backing up. Zar Salesman goes down. He does have the souls to resurrect, but I mean, that's not something you want to sacrifice. Velvet in kind of a tough spot here, but he's going to be able to go ahead and get out top. But see, that gives that kill at least gives the Fogeys level 16. If nothing else, I mean, you're also taking the souls away from Diablo, who's going to want to rebuild his collection. We really see an invade here. This is ballsy. They go ahead and flip the charge, and it's going to be New York. Oh, they jumped off the cap for a second. Hulk jumped off the cap. They do still get it. Don't manage to pick off the Uther, but they get a pretty good amount of damage on him. I wouldn't be surprised to see him go ahead and back. He may have a well too. Insomniacs a little low. Wouldn't be surprised to see a reset soon, or maybe they just keep looking to force a fight, and they're looking to go on Zag here. Get the charge to flip. The cleanse comes out, but it's a little late after Diablo had already started the flip. We do see the Entomb. Oh, that's a 3-man Maw. Do we see the follow-up this time? I imagine a D. Yeah, there's the counter engage. We do see Zar Salesman's going to go down. We see Zool going down right away. This is a 3 versus 4 right now. This is the Yorick end up making it out alive. He doesn't. We get the E from Alarak actually killing 2 people there. Securing the win on the team fight. That was actually huge. And you know, the one thing that's been really well done from Insomniacs in this game so far is we've been seeing some big Entomb Maw combos. I can see why they went for the Maw now, but the counter engage between APOC and Ring of Frost has absolutely been shutting down any sort of wombo potential that the Fogeys have been going for. And the really bad part for them right now, especially with this fort going down, doesn't help anything either. That puts the Insomniacs even closer to level 20. One more minion wave, we'll get it. Alarak can get it in the top, but no, let's have 20 off of that. There it is. Stormfield Talents ready over on the side of the Insomniacs. Trying to be a little sneaky in the mid here. Yeah, Uther still bottom, so he's rotating up mid. We have nobody looking to get either the top or bottom shrine, so it looks like we'll have a fight in the mid. You see Diablo going in. Oh, there's your Ring of Frost. There's your Divine Storm combo. Now they're going after Leoric. They get this pick. This should be game. This should 100% be game. There's no way Leoric goes out of this. Now they're going to go straight to the core. Got the Maw, but the Maw's not going to be enough. Jaina's all in. She wants this kill. She wants this kill. She has a... Yeah. It's Ice Block, right? Oh, it's Arcane Power. Okay. That's going to be GG, though. Another really clean game out from the Fogeys. Or from Insomniacs. The Fogeys had a strong early game here, but unfortunately the late game team fighting the Maws weren't working out quite as planned. It was just really the counter engage, which was the whole story of this game. As soon as the ults came online, I love the thought process behind the Fogeys for the Entomb and Maw combo. It suited them really well, but this Thrall was instantly deleted by a Ring of Frost every single time. You had the APOC coming out of that as well. And they more or less just blew up two heroes right out of the bat. Or just right out the gate. And ended up this being a major thorn in the side. So, well done. That's going to be the Insomniacs moving on to the second round of the tournament here. It's very well done. Very well done. I hope you guys enjoyed the cast. Thanks for watching. Make sure to show the NGS a little love. And watch some more games that are coming up. We should have some more great series. We've got the Division C, B, and A playoffs all going on right now. And there may even be a game or two left of the first round of some of these games. And then next week it'll be on to the second round. And the week after that we'll be in the championship. But thanks guys for watching, and I hope you guys have a great night.